Are you currently injured and looking to return to your sport and normal functionality as soon as possible? Then here are some tips on how to optimize your diet to speed up your recovery. I myself am dealing with a high ankle sprain at the moment, which I suffered during wrestling or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I dug into the latest research a little bit more and here's what I found. First of all, let's look at your calorie intake. If you're currently recovering from an injury, you should avoid a calorie deficit as it can slow down the wound healing, it can promote muscle loss, and it can also lead to nutrient deficiencies. Instead, match your maintenance calories, which means eat as much as you burn throughout the day. Now, you might burn a little less calories if you are not able to exercise, but the basal metabolic rate, so the calories that you burn throughout the day with normal everyday activities, shouldn't usually drop that much. And some of you, those that are on crutches, for example, might actually burn more than they would on a normal day because it is shown to burn 2 to 3 times the amount of calories walking on crutches compared to normal walking. Also, there should be ways for most of you to exercise around the injury. So try to stay active. If you have injured your lower body, find ways to exercise and train the upper body. Maybe even find ways to train the lower body isometrically, for example. If there are certain joints that are immobilized, just try to stay as active, stay as agile as possible, not just for the physical, but also for the mental benefits. The second thing that I want to point out that is crucial for your recovery is your protein intake. You want to aim for a high protein intake because protein is essential for the recovery, the repair of your soft tissue, and also to avoid muscle loss if you have certain parts of your body that are immobilized. So you want to aim for 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, and ideally you would spread this out across all of your meals. Tip number 3 is to avoid processed foods. Those can promote inflammation in the body, which is going to take away from your recovery. Instead, try to eat mostly whole foods, home-cooked meals, and a great variety of different foods. Now, we've looked at the overall calorie intake, the importance of protein, and also the kind of food sources. But let's dig a little bit deeper into the micronutrients. The first micronutrient I want to point out is zinc. Zinc is important for the muscle protein synthesis, but also for wound healing. You want to get sufficient amounts of zinc through your diet, and if you can't get it from your diet, it might make sense to supplement, but always check in with your doctor. You also want to make sure that you get enough vitamin C through your diet because that is crucial and essential for the collagen production in your body. Collagen is one of the proteins that is pretty much most found in your tissues. Again, if you can't get enough through your diet, supplements might make sense, but always check in with a health professional before you start taking any supplement. Calcium and vitamin D are 2 micronutrients that work hand in hand. They are both super important, especially if you have a fractured bone. And if your bone is trying to heal and grow back together, then you want to make sure that you get enough of those. And then I also want to mention omega-3 fatty acids, curcumin, and creatine, which might help with the recovery and the rehabilitation process, but there's still a little bit more research needed to fully back that up. Something to consider, something to discuss with your health professional, with your doctor, that might help you along the way. Well, these are my tips to optimize your diet and thereby optimize your recovery after an injury. As I mentioned before, always make sure to check in with a health professional before you start taking any supplements. There are some that you clearly don't want to overconsume, but also you don't want to be deficient in. Drop a like and a comment down below if this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.